5. Ooh, okay, so you want 5 in each category.
Yeah. Did you manage
Um,
to get close to any?
okay, this will have to be off the cuff then.
No, don't worry. It's cool because it's all
Uh,
about the discussing why and why this impacted your life so much. These particular people or songs or whatever it is.
okay, how about if we start with films?
Cool. That's a good. I love films.
And
I'm
they're
a-
all, I'm going to tell you right now, they're all over the
It
map.
doesn't matter. It's whatever you like as your top 5. So films
What my
first.
most favorite is
Yeah,
Gladiator, I have to say.
that is a good movie. I did. Why is it your favorite?
I don't know. I guess I connected with that character. I don't know what it is. Maybe my uh, maybe my female side. I don't know what it was about that particular movie, but it is literally, I probably watched it 100 times.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I'll tell you why it struck a chord with me was this. It's the story. It's the fact that he's lost his family, and he's a general in a Roman army. A respected man, and he loses everything. So he then becomes a slave. So he sees the other side. He's gone from this position of power to no power at all and having no rights. And he fights to get his life back to some normality and get revenge on the people that took his life away from him. And I think he was a decorated soldier. So I think the thing about it is, you know, he lost everything and he wanted people to pay for that. And he realized he was away from his family in long periods because these wars and battles lasted for years, some of them, a lot of years. So I think he realized what he was missing out on, that he didn't spend enough time with his loved ones. And when he lost them, you know, he was going to get revenge for them. And so he didn't mind dying because in his mind, he could see them in this, in heaven as he saw it, this next place where he could go and just spend time. No more war, no more fighting. He could go and spend time with his loving family and live the life that he should have been living. Do I sum that up enough?
That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. Exactly that. I was like, wow, he's good. Nice.
I'm a movie lover, that's why.
Nice. No, I liked it. I was like all captivated, like, wow, that's exactly why I love it. No, that is truly one of my most favorite movies.
And that's how I connected with it. And I wanted to share that because that's what got me about it. I was just like, wow, they took everything away from him. And he didn't ever realize the most important thing to him was just his family until they got taken away. He took them for granted. He was caught up in his ego and being this great man and respected by the Romans. Yeah. And the most important thing to him was his, I think it was his son and his wife. And they took that away from him. They took everything away from him. So that's what it's about, revenge and, getting back to his loved ones.
Yeah.
Nice. Next film.
Nice. The next film is, I really, really, really liked Straight Outta Compton. I really liked it. I think I liked it because I could connect with everything. That was kind of my era. So I could, but the funny thing is I learned, like, I didn't realize how interconnected all these people were. So to me, I love that part of it. I liked watching how music grew and how music changed people, changed the culture, changed. I mean, I enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed the fact that it was based on a true story. I like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It took me back to the time I was growing up and listening to these rappers and producers, and I knew how they were connected. I knew the whole story. I was a bit, going into watching these films, I'm like, it's probably going to disappoint because I was around that time. I knew what was going on. So how can they present this movie to me and me like it? So I was a bit, that whole thing of doubting that it was going to be any good. And I was pleasantly surprised. The performances, the fact it took me back to the day when, rap music was real rap music to me anyway. The artists and how great these legends of rap, how they started and how they came about, and and a good message in there as well about really going for what you want and believing in yourself no matter where you come from, whether it's a hood or wherever. It's going for what you want and believing that you can achieve something, and your love for it carrying you through and giving you success. So there's a good story in there as well, and what success can do to you. Divide friendship. They call them so-called family. So they started together and they all went on their separate ways, and they were really good friends. Don't get me wrong, they've rekindled some relationships, Dre and people like that. And they kind of realized when Eazy lost his life that they lost every sense of themselves, and they had to kind of try and rekindle friendships after that, because that was like that was it, the penny drop type thing moment when they said, what's going on here? We grew up together. Why are we acting like this? We've let these people in the background, the producers, these people that own the music labels, change us. And but that's the way it is a lot of the time, though, ain't it?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, sadly that happens all the time. Still happens now. Yeah,
definitely.
That's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, great film. Next movie.
My next movie, Scarface.
Oh, wow.
Most favorite movies.
Wow.
I know. And now that I live here down in Miami, it brings it home more.
Wow. Why is that? Why did that resonate with you?
I don't know if it necessarily resonated with me, but I kind of, even though, he's kind of a bad guy, you kind of had to root for him. Like I really, it's hard because, this world is so hard. It's so hard to live in, and it's so competitive, and so, some people just want to be able to live their life. They just want to be able to afford the normal things in life, and some people they have it so hard, in the things that they come from, or in this case the country that they came from. They get here and they think they're going to live this American dream, and it's almost like they didn't. It's almost like they didn't have a choice. I mean, that's just where they were going to go, and it's. I'm always pulling for the underdog. I'm one of those people that always pulls for the underdog. So I always, I want people to win. I really want people to win. So even though he was a bad guy, I wanted him to win. So you couldn't help but pull for him.
Yeah, why did it resonate with me? Why did I like that film so much at the time? Yeah, I think it's his journey, rags to riches. Yeah, it was a bad guy, but I think the film does well. You kind of get why he's doing certain things to get to a certain place. Exactly. It's that need to succeed, isn't it? Yes, he's chose selling cocaine and killing people and what have you to get there, but the basic point is he wants to be able to be free of, poverty like he came from, and live a better life for himself. So yes, it's a bit twisted in what he's doing to get there, but like you said, he's coming to almost like the promised land. He was thinking, coming to America, opportunity, and then you come and meet hatred, systemic racism, lack of opportunity for someone coming from your part of the world, you not being white. So they're up against it, aren't they? So what do they know?
Exactly.
It's crime. So the easiest thing for him is to go and do the same thing. And you can make money a lot quicker in America through that. So, so it's sad.
I'm sorry. As twisted as that was his American dream. I mean, he kind of made his American dream, although it turned out tragic. you know, that's how he saw his American dream, how he was going to get what he wanted,
Mm.
given not that many opportunities to do it. So, you know, again, I pull for the underdog. I can see how someone would come to this country thinking that they were going to, you know, get everything they ever dreamed of and everything they ever wanted. And then you get here, a lot of these people coming from wherever get here and realizing that this country's hard. This country's, it's not an American dream for a lot.
Mm.
Matter of fact, it's a nightmare for a lot of people. They have to probably work harder than they may have had to work, you know, where they came from. And then they got people telling them to go home.
Yeah,
A
go
lot
back to
of
where you came from. Yeah.
That is one of the rudest things I have ever heard. Just when people say that, I think it's just
Mm.
it breaks my heart. Actually, it's sad to me. It's sad.
Cool. I wanna actually say as well, Al Pacino and his performance, how brilliant he was in that movie.
Oh, so great. I love him anyway. So, I mean,
Yeah, he is good anyway.
he's a good anyway. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that he's not great in.
Yeah, he's quite consistent in that regards, isn't he? Most performances he gives.
Let's see what's another movie that I love. I actually loved what dreams may come.
Okay. Yeah, in bits. This movie.
Robin Williams and what is her name? And was Cuba Gooding Jr. in there too?
Yeah, Annabella. I think I can't remember the pronunciation. Shikora, something like that. It's Italian. Yeah, I remember it in bits. Why did that resonate with you?
I think the love story did.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in you know, soulmates and twin flames and I'm not really sure. My views have changed a little bit whether I believe you have one soulmate or if you have multiple soulmates, because I think you can have different soulmates, a different type of soulmate. Soulmate, for example, like, you know, I could have a female soulmate.
That's
You
right.
know, I met a friend who's my best friend here now, and something about her, I don't know what it was, something about her, you know, I just really liked her energy. There was just something about her that drew me to her, and we've been best friends ever since. So she, to me, is one of my soulmates. So anyway, it was something like that, finding each other, and then going through all of the things that you have to go through to stay with one another, and then the connection that they had, even into the afterlife or whatever. Their, you know, love was so strong, and I'm sappy like that. So I do believe that, you know, love can break all barriers. I believe that. I've always believed it. I will still believe it no matter what's happening in the world. I do believe that if you love enough, anything can change. You can change it. You can get over any obstacle if you love enough and you want to. So that's, I think, why
Love conquers all.
I agree. Just it does. It sounds so sappy. I know it sounds so corny.
That sounded really cheesy.
But I do believe it. I do. In all parts of life, I believe. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
Next.
One of those people that just love is the answer.
Yeah. Next movie.
My next movie. I really like, this is a recent one. I really, really liked, and this is dark. And why I like this movie, I don't know about this one. I really liked Joker. I thought it was really, really well done. I think he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
It just held my attention from the beginning to the end. again, this one was kind of tragic. You'd think that would have some really fluffy love movies in here, but I don't see those. Um, so I'm not really sure why I loved that movie. I think it was just so entertaining and brilliantly written. It was so good to me. Sad, but
Yeah,
good.
it was very sad. I think for me, it was the aspect of focusing on mental health
Mm-hmm.
and his depression. What led him to the violence? What led him to becoming this super villain, as it were? If you follow the comics,
Yeah.
I'm a big comic book fan, so all of this stuff I love. You know, great, one of the best villains of all time in all the whole, you know.
Really, really was.
So the way it's made, brilliant performance. I think it was all about the mental health and seeing his story. That is, you know, we kind of see his journey and why he became who he is. So I think that was really important about the story and what it touched upon. It wasn't this mindless violence. You could see what led to it. And I
And
think that
again,
it tells a story.
I agree. And again, compassion. You never know what's
That's right.
coming. You never know where someone, where someone came from. And so again, there's me pulling for the bad guys or the underdogs. But there was a reason that he acted that way. Not that I condoned it, but there was definitely a reason that he acted that way.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be that way. That's not what he chose to be. But it's almost like, again, like this kind of made a path for him. And it wasn't necessarily that he chose that. It just kind of, that's where he ended up. So, but again, it was an unbelievable movie. And the fact that he had so many layers to him, they made that character with so many, he was so deep that I liked it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, one of my favorite movies of recent times, because to be honest, to me in Hollywood, there's not a lot of good stuff coming out. It's a lot of garbage. I don't really rate a lot of this stuff coming out. A lot of hype. They're great at promoting and marketing a film, but the actual product itself, when you watch it, you most times or not, you're disappointed.
I think that's why I went back into way back to find my favorite movies because
definitely.
But that one was a good one. That was recent. What was that?
It was really good. Last year, wasn't it? Last year?
I think so.
I can't remember. I'll tell you what, with this whole lockdown stuff, it's just like, I've just got a blur of time and days, and it's just really strange. I've been working like normal, but it still feels like that. Yeah, I'm just like, last year.
I know.
And it was last year. It was 2019 film. What's your next one? That was 4, wasn't it? Was that 4 films?
Was that 4 or was that 5?
Gladiator, Joker, What Dreams May Come, Scarface.
Oh, geez, I have to pick another. Okay. The Last Samurai.
I like that.
I'm going right into the same. You can tell.
No, I actually really like that. There's some really good choices in your selections. I've got to say they are all films that have touched me somehow and had an impact on me whilst watching them, rather than thinking that was just a waste of my time. So why did The Last Samurai touch you?
Again, because I just it how people treat each other it kills me. It truly breaks my heart how people just treat one another for absolutely no reason. Sorry, that's my cat. And again, there's an underdog in it. There's 2 people who are both human beings, both fighting for the same things, but from 2 different cultures, 2 different worlds, and they're just trying to understand one another. So I really liked it because I think when the 2 of them kind of were stuck together, or he was their captive for a while, the fact that he understood, got to sit back and watch why people do some of the things that they
Mm,
do. You might have thought wearing, a top knot, for example, like, why would they do that? That's so what? Now, and then you understand the significance of it and the importance of it and why they do it, culturally, why they do the things that they do. And it just, and vice versa. He started to understand, why, Tom Cruise's character was
mm.
so dark, and so where he was at. So again, it was the human connection, and it was the human understanding of one another and the compassion each one of them had. And again, you love enough and you want to fix it enough, you can. And I just believe that throughout my whole life. It's just something I believe.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I really like that film. It touched me in a way that it was about this guy embracing a culture, like you said, and he never thought about his culture. He didn't have no respect for them, and he grew this respect for this culture and the way they do things, the way they set about their life. And he learned the mastery of being a samurai. And love, there was love in there as well. Um, so yeah, that was it for me. But for me, for Tom Cruise, that's one of his best films.
I agree. And I don't think it's talked about enough, because I
No,
think it's amazing, amazing film.
um, I think it does a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
It does a lot of stuff that are just like blockbusters, and that and I think he's overrated. I thought I'd get that in there to squeeze in my opinion about certain actors. I don't rate many, by the way. I'm one of those people that
Okay.
just has like a very small list who I'd go to the cinema to watch.
I
The others,
agree.
I just think they're there for their look. Friends of friends, maybe friend of the families, the owner of that, company or whatever that gives them a chance. I don't really, you know. As they say about Hollywood, it's all smoke and mirrors.
It really is. It really
It's not
is.
real when people think, oh yeah, all of this is going on. There's such great people. I don't think so. People just do whatever they want to get to a particular place, and it's a shame. But sell your soul.
Well, and when it comes down to it, they're just people, just like
Yeah,
anybody
they
else.
are.
So don't put them up on a pedestal. They're just people. They got the
They
same
are.
issues, the same crappy qualities, some of them,
Yes,
and some of the same good qualities. So yeah, it's just, yeah, I agree. I agree.
definitely.
People doing jobs.
Cool. So that's your top 5
That is my top 5.
movies.
I know
Which section do you want to do next?
they're kind of deep.
It
Um,
was.
let me see. Let's do some singers.
Yeah.
Let's do some singers. My playlists are honestly all over the map. They have no rhyme or reason to them. I listen to reggae. I listen to rap. I listen to R&B. Um, throw a little bit of country in there. Like, I mean,
Mm.
I listen to jazz. I listen to rock. I mean, I'm really literally all over the place. So if you listen to my playlist, it just goes everywhere when I'm in the gym. And sometimes I laugh to myself, because if people actually could hear some of the things that I listen to, they would be like, "What?" So I also like new music too. So I like
Mm.
new. I try to listen to new music, and I
Yeah.
try to, if I love when people send me music. I love listening to music.
That's
So
cool, isn't it?
send me
Yeah.
everything, anything you got. You think it's a cool song? Send it to me. Let me hear it. I also listen to, living down here, I've listened to some reggaeton, and I've listened to,
Love reggaeton.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so really this was a hard one for me, because I just like so many different kinds of music. So Bob Marley is one of my most favorite.
Wow. Wow.
I
Why
love,
is that? Why is Bob?
just because what he sings about, again, he's my vibe for sure. And that's
Wow.
I
The
can totally
legend.
understand, love is my religion. I love that. That's me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing about him and his music, I always find if you want to pick your mood up, is listen to Bob. Bob's just uplifting.
Exactly.
It's just uplifting music. If I'm cooking or whatever, Bob's on. It's just a nice vibe, a nice summer's day, whatever. But it's just uplifting music.
And I love that, and I love that about it. I love the fact that that's what he sings about. I don't know. Again, if you're right. If you feel having a bad day, go listen to some of him. You know, I like that. Who else? I love Drake. I do. There's not one song of his that I don't like. You know, anything that he touches, I like. Just I don't know. I like his music. I like it.
Is it him as the artist, or is it his production?
It's both. It's both. I like him as a person, and I like him as an artist. I like the. Again, I can't think of a song of his that I don't like. You know, you have favorites. You have ones that you like, and there's not an artist or many artists that I can think of off the top of my head that I like most all of his songs or their songs.
True. It's consistent in that regards.
It's consistent. Like I could listen to it. Okay, I can listen to this. Maybe it's not my favorite one, but I could listen to this. I like that.
I'm going to say something controversial now. And when this goes out and I launch this podcast, I'm sure there's going to be people saying, what am I going on about? I think he's overrated.
To you?
And I've said this time and time again. When I think back to the original rappers I grew up with, their flow, their style, I think he's average. Now, what I think is his production. Okay. I think he has something about him. He's commercial. He's a light skin. He's mixed race, isn't he? A biracial. He has a look. There's an image about him. He's a nice guy. I think he's all right. He's a decent guy. Comes across as. I don't think he's this great rapper. Great singer. I think he's okay. I think he has great songs. What about that? That's my honest opinion. And when I listen to his music, and he's got some great tracks, and I've partied and been playing Drake, and everyone's vibing in a club or what have you, and he has some tracks or whatever. But I don't put him when he retires and he gets old, and for record sales and everything, he's probably going to go down as this legend.
And he is. You can't deny he is a legend. I mean, he's broken all kinds of records.
I know. And then I'll look at that and say, how talented was he? Was it all about timing for him? Now, just being honest.
Well, you know what? Timing is huge, though.
Timing's because for me, and when I think about legends of rap, for me, he comes nowhere near it. But his record sales will put him up there with them.
Exactly.
It'll put him beyond them, actually, because some of them were murdered and no longer here. And he's made how many albums and how many number one singles all around the world. He's global. He's the biggest thing there is right now in rap. Like, no, Kendrick Lamar was on a par, and then he's just gone off into his own now, Drake. So no one can touch that, But I'm talking about to my ear, my musical ear.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think he's average.
Well, when you talk about production, too, I mean, that plays a lot to do, a big part in who you become and who you are, and all that. But, he's a brilliant business guy, too. I mean, he knows his business, too. So, if you know that you need to have a good team around you, he's definitely done that.
That's what's needed.
And he's loyal to the people he has around him.
He's smart. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I'm going to put it similar. I'm going to compare it to Rihanna. Now, to our musical ear, she's got an average voice. Yeah. She's got better as she's gone on. It's her image. Yeah. The way she carries herself has made her this global megastar, because I know personally a lot better singers than she is. It's timing. It's the people behind you, your team, production,
It
and
is.
it can take you off into this other level because those
It is.
two artists I've just mentioned, when I think about legends and the singers I really rate and respect, I don't think they should be in the same conversation, but they will be because of their record sales.
Mhm.
So when
Mhm.
people say, "Oh yeah, he's the most talented," I look at the whole thing. Sometimes it's it's just having the luck of the draw and coming out at a particular time, getting that opportunity, someone opening the gatekeepers, opening the gates for you, allowing you to have your shot rather than, oh yeah, he's the greatest rapper at this moment in time. He's the best thing coming out of, where's he from? Drake? Is he Canadian?
Mhm.
He's Canadian. He's the best thing coming out of Canada. Yeah, so that's just my opinion. I thought I'd go off on one. That's just me and my music.
Tell me what you really think.
I had to get it out there. When this podcast comes out, I'm just gonna get all this abuse. Like, what's he going on about? Drake's the best thing since. No, he's not. He's
And
not.
I didn't say that.
No. I'm just saying. That's what I'm gonna hear.
I'm just kidding. I'm
And
just
it's
kidding.
great because it's your opinion, and this is why I love music.
You know what?
Yeah.
What I like about him too is the fact that I can understand what he's talking about. I can understand what he's singing about, and I appreciate that about artists. Not that he's the only one. I mean, obviously, there's many, but I appreciate. Back in the day, we always knew what they were talking about. They talked about real stuff. I don't even know what they're talking about now. Like, I can't even understand some of the things that they say now. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Mumble rap, they call it. Snoop came out and called it mumble rap.
Yeah, I'm like, so I appreciate that about Drake. I know what
yeah,
he's
you know what he's going on about. You know his message.
Yeah, I get it.
You know where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So we mentioned Bob. We mentioned Drake.
I like. There's this new art. He's not that new, but he's newer to me. His name is Kenyon Dixon. Do you know who he is?
I've heard of him. I've not listened to his stuff though. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, he's good. He's oh gosh, I wish I could. You know what? I'm so bad naming off songs, but I can tell you. I just can tell you what I like. But he's just his. I like his vibe. It's funny because with this quarantine thing, what happened to me is I basically shut my TV off, and all I do is listen to music. So my thing is at night now is I go outside in my backyard and I turn my little fireplace thing on, and I just turn on music and I just sit there.
But it's great.
And so I've been listening to all kinds of music, and I've been stuck on him lately.
Cool. So tracks like Sky's the Limit, Sitting Up in My Room, I Want You, Part 1 and Part 2, Should Have Been You, and Hard Way.
They're all so good. I wish I remember the song that I absolutely love lately. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
I'll start listening. Thanks for that recommendation.
Yeah, he's really good.
I'll start checking him out.
He does a song called Freak. It's a good song too.
So is he taking it back to the old school? Is this like old school?
He's kind of. I mean, but he's kind of got a I don't know. He's kind of got a. It is old school, I guess. Freak is old school to me. Like it's got an old school feel to me. Like a sexy song. It's a good.
Yeah. As soon as I hear that term, that just takes me back to some old school R&B. Freak.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the song's about. Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes me some old school R&B. The house parties I used to go to back in the day.
The good old days. I know.
Oh, man.
The good old days where we knew what they were talking about, and we could.
The message was simple, wasn't it?
Right. Pretty much. Yeah, we pretty much just sang about sex, pretty much.
That's what I was gonna say. Find a person you can have, a nice sexual relationship with.
And there you go.
And life's good.
I've been listening to a lot of Black lately too.
Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really like. Yeah, just again, I just like his music. I like his vibe. Like I said, it's for me lately. It's been all about. Okay, so I've been doing two things. I go to the gym, and then there's more upbeat music that I listen to at the gym, and then when I get back home and I'm kind of chilling out by outside in the backyard, then I have kind of another sort of vibe going on. So really, I've been all over the place. Can throw some reggaeton in there too.
Oh yeah, some reggaeton. So we got Bob Marley, Drake, Kenyon Dixon, and Black. Did you say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like
And one more.
J Balvin. Do you know who that is?
Who?
J Balvin.
So you're just teaching me stuff today, aren't you? What's going on?
No,
I'm getting a musical education.
that's he's reggaeton. You'd
J
like
Belvin.
J Balvin, like the letter J Balvin.
Ah, so maybe I have heard his stuff. I just didn't know it was him. Yeah. Didn't know it was him. I don't know the many of the artists in reggaeton. I just got like playlists and friends send me stuff. So I'm not as committed as I would be to my rap or my R&B or stuff like that. So cool. So that's your five.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you want to go next? What's
for
that?
right now. For right now.
For right now. That's the thing.
Songs that I like right now. There's some songs that I like right
cool.
now.
What are they?
Tiana. Oh, what's her name? Tiana Major. Is that her name? Think About You. Have you ever heard that one? Think About You.
I'm getting an education today.
Oh, you got to play that song. That's a good song too.
Tiana Major.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know how to pronounce it because maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong because I believe it's Major with a 9 on the back. So I'm not quite familiar. Maybe I'm saying her name completely wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting what she's trying to do there with the 9.
Yeah, can somebody please explain that to me? Because
I think she's gonna have to. Maybe I'll try and get her on the podcast. Can you explain what that's about?
Think About You is it's a good song.
Tiana Major 9. Major 9? Major 9? I don't know what she's trying to do there.
That's what I mean. I don't know.
Trying to think what should be trying. Don't know.
What other song am I into right now? Loving You by Black.
See, Black's gonna again. I'm getting a musical education, which is great.
Let me see.
Is it Black BLACK? You spell his name because then there's Black.
Except he uses a 6 for the B. Evidently, he's into numerology, and I'm not really sure what the 6 does, but it's yeah.
I'm sure some subliminal messaging and all sorts going on with all these numbers and.
And there's this new artist just coming out, like really new, just coming out. But there's a song called "Keep Me Alive," and it's Losi, and it's LOSI, but it's like he uses a number sign. Is it a number sign? No, not number sign. $sign for the S. LO $I.
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting.
And these songs have absolutely nothing to do with one another. They're like really all over the place.
This is the new school way. I'm stuck in my old school. Tony, I got to re-educate.
Because we have to all share playlists so we can get a little bit of old, get a little bit of new.
Yeah, I'm stuck in my old school, man. I got to get out this whole thing of music because it's never been as good as what it was.
I'm old school too. Before we got on the call, I was listening to Jeezy. So I got my old school too. Yeah.
What about rappers of all time? Your favorite rappers of all time? I know you've mentioned this to me before, but
Tupac. I love Tupac. I'll always love Tupac.
What was the song for you that done it when you said, "Yeah, he's my man"?
What is this? The one single song? I
Yeah,
don't know.
that something that stood out that you was just like, yeah, this is why I love Tupac. The message, or you know, whether he was in a club, whatever it was.
Um, ugh, I loved Thug Mansion.
Yeah.
Um, what's that song called? I can't remember. Mama, what is it? What is it? You know what I'm talking
Mama
about?
Don't Cry, or
Something. Yeah, something.
there was
Yeah,
one like that, and there was another one. Oh man, what's up with me? I'm remembering Tupac song. That's not like me.
I can't remember it either. But anyway, I love that song. I just like him. I just like. I can't. I'm having a blank when it comes to a
Dear
song name.
Mama. It's Dear Mama.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Um, his message about everything. He's just
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
so for his time.
It
He
was
was so
great.
time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I connect with people like that. You know, Nipsey Hussle. I can connect with people like
Didn't listen to a lot of his stuff, Nipsey, though.
you hadn't.
No, there's respected a lot, and so many people have been talking about him, but I never listened to his stuff.
Yeah,
I never, he's really respected though. I've been hearing all this hype.
he's not somebody that I would listen to his entire album over and over and over again. There was particular songs that I liked, but again, his message, I like it. Sad that it's tragic, really.
Yeah, Tupac for me. As I said to you, I was a Biggie man first of all. It was all about the Notorious B.I.G. And then the older I got, the more I appreciate Tupac. I liked his songs and that, but he wasn't number one for me. He was number two. And the more I got to know, and what I respect him, not just talking about the rapper, talking about the man, is he's an all-rounder. He can act, he can produce, he writes his own raps, you can rap. I was like, this guy's, he's an icon. I just started to respect the man. And it just took it beyond, and that's when he became number one for me. It was everything. Seeing him acting in films, and I was just like, he's got a talent. He's got a real talent. And that's what really, that's when I said, yeah, he's number one. But yeah, before that was Biggie for me, because Biggie was just all about a vibe and his sound and the way he his image, his sound, his lyrically, the way he tied verses together, he was just amazing for me. And I was just like, that's a rapper. I was waiting for a good rapper to come out again, since when I first heard Snoop and Doggy Style and things like that. I was just like, for me, Snoop was number one in that at the beginnings, all of that, and then these guys for me just came in and just took it over. But Snoop was my number one when I was at school and stuff. That Doggy Style album, having it on tape. Remember those days, Tony?
Yeah. I remember.
Not CD, tape.
Should I have said what? What's a tape?
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
You mean a CD? What is a tape? I don't know what it is.
So those days.
I agree. Snoop's one of my favorite too. One of my all-time favorite. Biggie. Who doesn't like Biggie? I mean, I like Biggie too. Who doesn't like him and wouldn't put him up there for your top five? It's funny because I like some of these new school rappers, some of them, but I wouldn't call them my favorites. Like I'll listen to some of their stuff. Like Jeezy, I really like Jeezy, and not everything, but his sound. I guess somebody like YG. I kind of like YG. I kind of like his flow. I like Future.
Yeah, but a bit of mumble rap in Future.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm just like, what did he say?
I mean, a lot of these new school rappers, you can't understand.
What was that word? I don't.
I agree.
2 Chainz.
So I agree. So I think that sums it up. How many was that for?
Yeah, I just messed it up and this because I was mentioning so many other people for some reason just to confuse it. So you said Tupac.
I'm in there, right? Snoop.
Snoop.
Biggie.
Yeah,
Shoot, that was just no way. Was that just three?
that was just free. I was just ranting. That's why. It just sounded like I was talking about a lot more, but I wasn't actually.
Pressure then I guess I would say. I guess now right now, one of my favorites is Black right now.
Cool.
I like what he sings about. I like his.
So he raps and sings.
I guess he would probably be considered rap, probably.
Yeah, I need to check him out.
I don't know what genre he would be, but I guess rap probably.
Because you mentioned Drake earlier, and you know he's considered a rapper, not a singer.
He is.
Because he obviously does both, so you could put him in both lists. I'm just saying, you can put him in both lists.
You're just trying to confuse me. Add another one. Add another one.
But it's your list anyway, so you put him wherever you want. It's fine. Whether he wants to be in singers or rap, I don't mind. It's your list, isn't it?
So what you're saying then is you don't think he's one of the greatest rappers, but you could agree with me that he's one of the best singers.
No.
Thought I would try.
You won't convince me with that. I'm sorry. He doesn't make top. For me, he probably doesn't make my top 10.
Really? Oh.
If I'm talking about flow and putting rhymes together and telling stories with his music, with his lyrics, nah, he probably doesn't make top 10 for me.
See, and I actually think the opposite. I think sometimes when you have all of that production behind you and all that fluff and all that stuff, I think what happens sometimes is then you don't get the credit that's.
I hear you.
It's due you. So, in my opinion, Drake is an incredible lyricist.
I'm not gonna totally put him down because he has got tracks where lyrically. I remember his first album. That came out. Can't remember the name off the top of my head because I don't follow him that closely. But I remember some tracks where he's got some really good lyrics and the way he puts it together and tells stories, and he can do it. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying generally, I don't think he's up there with one of the best.
Right. That's all. But I think sometimes with the production, like I said, that can almost take away from how talented you really are because then you think, oh God, and Drake and blah blah. And then you kind of lose sight of actually how talented he is. I think that happens with somebody like maybe as far as singer wise, like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's a great singer. He's got a lot of crap around him. And then so maybe people think, Justin Bieber, but really the kid can sing. You know, Chris Brown, Chris can sing. Like really sing, and I think sometimes it can almost depending on what's going on around you, you know, with Chris and some of all the stuff that goes on around him. I think people forget, like, you know, they hear Chris Brown and they immediately think negative when Chris is really an amazing singer, like really talented.
You're almost saying that it kind of dilutes their product, yeah.
Kind of.
It dilutes it. It's not them in their purest form because someone's tampering with it and putting unnecessary stuff on top of it where they just should let their craft come through and shine through.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Take it away. Tell them what I mean.
Oh dear. So was that 5? Sorry, we just go off. So I'm
oh my god! I'm sure that was 5.
When we go back to, I'm like, what were we talking about in the beginning?
That has to be 5. Oh my god! Sweating over here.
So we've done rappers, we've done singers. What about actors? We do actors. We did films, didn't we?
I love Tom Hardy.
Oh, he's good.
I love him. I think he's incredibly talented. Honestly, I think he's kind of underrated. I think as an actor sometimes, because he can play something like. I just watched it. It's about the two brothers. I think they're from the UK.
Yeah, the Cray brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He can do something like that, and then he can turn around and do something like Venom. Like he's just really, and then he can do, what was that other movie with I think he
With who?
With, I think, when they're in the wilderness and he was
with Leo.
Yeah. And then he can do a movie like that, like super talented, I think.
Yes, he grew up near where I grew up. Funny enough, it's quite funny in London, West London. That's where I grew up. I mean, he grew up near Hammersmith, and I grew up near Hammersmith. Funny enough, so.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very talented, very versatile. I like him. Yeah, he's good. Good choice. Who else?
Denzel Washington. I think he.
Yeah. See now.
Like you gotta give it up to Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. See, who else? Who? I mean, honestly, right now, I think Denzel is probably the top actor right now for me. Like, what movie have you ever seen of Denzel Washington that was not amazing? I can't even think.
Was it called Unstoppable when he's on that train that can't stop?
See, I liked it.
With Chris Pine.
I liked that movie.
There are a couple. I thought it was just okay. These films, he's always good, but not always. I don't think he'd. No, this is your opinion. I just think some of the production and things.
John Q. Remember John Q?
Yeah, I like that.
Such a good movie. Let me see another actor that I think is amazing.
Let me quickly make a point about Denzel, why I like him so much and why he's my number one on my list that I'm looking at right now. He's just a great icon, a black actor who's made it in a white world of Hollywood.
Exactly.
And it's his stature. You know what the movie done it for me though when he stood out for me. I saw Glory, but for me it was Malcolm X.
Yeah, so good.
When I saw him in Malcolm X and the different personalities of Malcolm in that movie and his performance and that he was just amazing. And he didn't win an Oscar because they were saying it was too political a film to actually give him an Oscar for, but he should have won it then. Training Day.
Yeah, Training Day. Oh my God, it was such a good movie.
He was a negative character, and some stereotyping, but it's all right because he's still
But however, though,
he was brilliant.
He was a cop, so there was a little bit of twist on the stereotype.
Little bit, yeah.
But he played it well. He played it well. He's believable, right? He's so believable.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He is, man.
Oh my God, so good. And you know who's going to be just as good, I feel like, is his son.
Oh, he's a talent. He's up and coming. I want to see this Tenet film that's coming out.
What was that movie?
Tenet.
About,
yeah.
KKK. What was that movie?
The Black Klansman.
Oh, it was such a good movie.
I didn't watch it in its entirety though. I need to go and finish it. I saw it like 1/3 of it or something.
What's funny about him is if you just watch him, you can almost see Denzel in him.
Yeah, especially the voice. Yeah. Certainly the way he pronounces things sometimes, you're like, oh yeah.
Some of his mannerisms are the same. Yeah, so I actually like him. I'm going to be anxious to watch him do more.
Yeah, let's see. As I said, that blockbuster Tenet that's coming out, that Christopher Nolan film, that obviously is put back because of Corona. That's coming out. I think it's August now, or maybe September. It might be pushed back again. So that'll be something to watch and check out. So yeah, your next actor.
Actors. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this list was hard for me, just because I'm just kind of a picky. I'm kind of picky. Um, one of my most favorite actors is Joaquin Phoenix. Or
Oh yeah,
Joaquin.
great.
Yeah,
He's
he's
great.
so good in everything he does. See, two of my films had him in it. See, Gladiator and Joker.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That link. Yeah.
Because he just into his character and he's so believable, whatever character he's playing. I didn't see the movie where he was fell in love with his
Yeah, she is it.
yeah, I didn't see it.
Check it out. It's amazing.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's come on, an actor that can pull something like that off.
Exactly.
Where he's just talking to his answer machine. It's not an answer machine; it's a device like Alexa and all this stuff.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So
you can make that believable.
Come on, he's something else, man. What an actor!
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch his brother much, River, before he passed?
I don't think that I did. I don't think I was paying much attention.
80s.
To him.
Those 80s films, like Corey Haim. You let them both rest in peace, actually. So it was around that time, those teeny movies and stuff. Brilliant actor, by the way. River was another. He could have been, and obviously he had the look as well. So it did, but it's such a shame.
Such a shame. It's funny, that particular era, and I don't know if you've heard I'm sure you have, and this might get some negative stuff. But anyway, the grumblings that you're hearing about Hollywood and some of the really seedy, nasty stuff that Hollywood's into. You wonder that era right there, what those kids, because they were basically kids at the time, young, super young, early 20s, had to go through. And it wasn't, it's still not talked about. It's kind of like, we know it's there, but nobody really says anything. Harvey.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Harvey Weinstein, okay, so we got one of them, of however many are out there. And so I feel bad for that age group of people. Corey Haim. I feel bad for Corey Feldman, who's been talking about it for 20 years. And nobody seemed to want to listen.
Yeah. That's been going on since Hollywood existed. And it'll keep on going on beyond our lifetimes. They have too much power. You're trying to take on a film company. Yeah, who are worth billions. They can't even trace how much money these companies earn and how much they gross yearly. So you as one person who's going to open and have a voice to say that this is going on and this has happened, you're not going to stand any chance. And and that's unfortunately the world we live in. It's a disgusting thing. And yes, you're right. And why did the late River commit suicide? Who knows? Was he raped? Was he, and there's all sorts of, the casting couch they talk about that goes on today. So as we speak, someone could be getting, sexually abused and told that if you don't do this, you won't be in the next, blockbuster that's coming out in the summer or next year or what have you. So that's going on because it's power, isn't it? And they feel you can't touch them. Because they're so powerful, they can do whatever they want.
They do, and they can. I mean, they can.
Yeah, it's shown for how many decades. As long as film's been made, this has been going on, and it will be going on, unfortunately, past our lifetimes, because you can't take down these organizations. They're too powerful because they got the money.
And they're so huge, and they go so.
It's so huge.
And the people that are connected are so powerful, and there's so many of them. I mean, it's I don't know, I'm telling you, I do feel like in the next couple of years though, some things are going to come out.
There'll be things that come out, but it won't go anywhere. The odd person will get convicted, but Harvey Weinstein was just doing what he's seen others do. and
Oh,
someone
exactly.
just called him out on it. But he was probably thinking, well, what about this director and that producer and that? Why am I getting? I'm not the only one doing this. This is natural. This is what they do. So it's messed up.
My wish is though is that people, with this COVID thing and this,
Mm,
all the stuff that's going on, that people are kind of, second guessing, that people start really second guessing things, that people really start thinking about things and stop taking things for face value. Just
yeah,
because the government tells you this, or just because the news stations tell you this, that doesn't mean that's what it is. It doesn't mean that that's gospel. I mean, I turn the TV off because frankly, I stopped watching. I just can't, I
yeah,
just can't
yeah.
watch it anymore.
It's
So
brainwashing.
it is. And I hope people start to, do some of their own investigating and start, looking into things a little bit deeper instead of just taking things at face value. I mean,
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But people just live in that bubble, their world.
I get it. It's comfortable there.
Of
I
course, it
get it.
is
It's comfortable. It's not scary.
privileged.
You don't have to make any, it's privileged. You don't have to make any real choices. I mean, I get it. But the world's not going to change with everybody living in these little fantasy bubbles because the world is not like that. And until everybody wants to recognize some of the problems, big
Mm.
problems we have, and try to fix them, they're not going to, the world is going to stay this way or get worse.
I'll try and look at it from these people's point of view that are in this bubble. They don't care. Like your great points you made about it's not going to change. They don't care about that. They're just focusing on their world and what they're living in. As long as it doesn't directly affect them, they're just going to
Exactly.
keep on living their lives that way. And that's what it is. It's just like, look, I'm fine. No one's bothering me. I
Yeah.
go and vote. I go and do this.
Mhm.
My people aren't being killed.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
fine. So what's the problem with you guys? You fight your own battles. I'm fine in my world. No one's bothering me. So why should I be allies with you? So
Well,
yeah, go on.
that's nature. Humans are reactive, not proactive
Yeah,
for the most part. So those people aren't going to, they're not going to, like you said, they're going to stay in their bubble until something affects them.
there you go. And that's
And
the
they're
point.
gonna say it. And it will, because that's the world we live in. That's karma. That's what you get. You can't put ugly out and expect to get pretty back. It just doesn't work
Yeah.
like
What
that.
goes around comes around.
Exactly. And it's going to come around to you. And when it does, that's when you're going to have to stand up and make a
And then
choice.
it'll be like, oh, you know what? Let's get behind this.
Right? Where's my help? Where is everybody to help me? You know what I mean? And that's, like I said, I've said it
That's
probably
it.
on here so far that I just feel like just people have to come together as human beings
Ah,
and stop
definitely.
all the differences, because we got a ton of differences, but we got more things alike than we do differences.
Oh,
And
definitely.
if everybody looked alike and we were exactly the same, it would just be so boring anyway.
Of course it would. Like,
But
how fantastic is all these different cultures and friends
yeah,
I've got from all over the world, and you can embrace. Like, we look at the different genres of music we talked about, the
yeah, oh my God,
influences.
the world was full of all me's, it would be so boring.
Give yourself a bit more credit than that, Tony. You're not that bad.
But I mean, we'd all be.
Especially when I see those boat parties. It's like,
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, those are fun. Right? Yeah,
where this boat at?
I know. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie.
And that guy didn't know where to put his hands. Sorry, not with you, just in case anyone's watching this.
Oh, I know. That's my daughter's best friend. That's my daughter's best friend. So he really did it. I mean, here's this beautiful woman. And he was like, whoa.
Is it all right to touch? Should I ask? Or should I keep my hands behind my back?
That was so cute. That was such a funny. You know what? That didn't even occur to me either when someone was people started pointing it out. I didn't even notice that. But he was kind of like, not to do this.
Because it wasn't a dance move.
The funny thing is, he knows her well, so it's not like it's not like he couldn't have.
Yeah,
So
hands on the hips. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have done whatever he wanted. That, they're
Yeah,
friends, each other for a long
yeah.
time. But anyway, it was funny. They have a lot of comments.
Listen, life's for living, man. That's what it's all about, man. Having fun, enjoying. Life's too short to be, stressing about things like that. It's just fun, man. Just go and enjoy it. That's why I love when I see scenes like that on a boat and then music and a vibe, because that's just, for me, that's living your best life. It's just enjoying it, a vibe.
I agree. Life is too short. Spend it with the people that you care about, and maybe some people that you don't even know yet. And
Yeah, laughing and joking, and
yeah, that's what life is about. Life is hard.
yeah.
Life is hard. It's sad and it's hard, and crappy things happen, and we're going to always have to deal with that part. But do we have to make it so much harder by all this division and hate and?
But that's when money, power, greed comes into it. Unfortunately, it's the rest of it that creates this divide. When these systems are set up, they're designed to protect a certain people. Yeah, to make sure these are the people that are going to stay wealthy. Yeah, you see what I mean? They're set up. Let's be harsher on sentences for that minority, that because it protects their own. We can keep on growing. Exactly. If we can keep these people down, and stop them from thriving and becoming and taking over this country, we don't want to give them too much, allow them to have too much power. You can have enough, but not enough to make a difference, and real difference in a nation. And that's why these systems come about. They're trying to protect their own people. They're making sure that there will always be white privilege, that won't change. We're going to always be the inferior race, as they see it. Superior race, and you guys are going to be the inferior race to us. So that's how they want to keep it. So that's why they put it in place. It's power, it's greed. Came over to the Americas. It wasn't their land. They've been slaughtered, the Native Indians, and they died from a lot of disease as well. That the Irish and whoever came over, Europeans came over, there was a lot of disease they brought over as well. So the natives died from a lot of the diseases that they never had over there, and obviously the war and there's a lot of stuff. So they've taken over this land, and it's funny when a white American says, go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
Think about that logic though. You're like, wait a minute here, you're not a Native American. This isn't your land. So how am I going back? And where are you from originally?
Right? When people ask me, like, what am I? My general answer usually is, I'm just white. This is what my general answer is. But honestly is, it would be easier to tell you what I'm not.
Yeah, that's true.
What I am, because I am mixed up with all kinds of things in life. So it would be easier to tell you what I'm not.
But to be honest, we all are, Tawny. Now, you look at me and think I'm just a black man. If I go further back, a great-great-grandmother was a Chinese woman on one side, and a great-great-grandmother on the other side was an Indian woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's straight hair, and my grandmother had straight hair like you. Okay. So no matter how much you think you're this, and especially because obviously my parents are from the West Indies, so Grenada and things like that. So there were slaves that were brought to this land, obviously not the original inhabitants, again, Native American Indian on those islands originally, and we were slaves that were brought over there. So, within that, you got the mixes, hence why I'm Michael Collins and I've got an Irish surname. It's an Irish name, to be honest, altogether. It's funny when I speak to Irish people, they're like, Michael Collins. So there's that, isn't there? So we're not, what mix? I'm, as I said, there's so many mixes in my family.
And it kills me when people say that, go back to where you came from. Okay, where exactly is that?
Exactly. I could be an island.
We should all go back to where we came from. Everybody, we should all go back to where we came from. So
I could be in Africa. I could be an island. I could be in the West Indies. Or I could be where I am.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We want to go all the way back. We all came from there originally. So I don't know. I don't understand why people just get it's such a hang up for people. I don't understand that.
Because they don't know their history. I think if you knew your history and you educated yourself, then you wouldn't be saying silly things like that. That's just mindless, isn't it? It's just ignorance. because
Yeah.
you don't know the real story, do you, behind this person? So you can look at someone and think, oh, he's Mexican or whatever, and he could be he could be a Native American. So he could have more rights here than you as a white person. You don't know someone's background just by looking at them and thinking they're part of this race or culture. You don't know, do you? Because we're mixed.
And that's the funny thing is, like, who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? And that's the part that I will never understand. Who cares where somebody's from? Or I don't understand it. It's not something that I can comprehend. So but I'm working on it, because at the same time, I need to understand, everybody's got to just open their minds a little bit, open their hearts a little bit, have some compassion and talk, so people can understand where each other's coming from. So
Definitely.
not make assumptions, just because this person doesn't know, that doesn't mean that they don't care. They just don't know. Or just because, this person feels a certain way and thinks everybody else should understand that that's how they feel, they don't necessarily understand that. So people just, in my opinion, like I said before, that this, as sad as it is, and I don't think anybody should have to die, lose their life for people to wake up.